So I just want to talk about men's health. I got a long drive. Sorry, I don't got a really quiet car. So men's health, I'm going to try to just speak on my own experience because that's what I'm an expert at, I guess. Although I did have a 10-year long career that dealt with men's health. Anyways, I want to talk kind of about physical pain and stuff. And this is kind of what I do, right? And it's a different kind of, I guess you could say, regimen. Now, first I'll describe what I do, like function day to day, and like my body type. So you know if this is for you or not, but this is for most. Bear with me. I'm like 5'10", 5'11". Sorry, Metro Mobility is acting a fool here. 5'10", 5'11". I'm bigger. I'm like 230. Very strong. But I got a nice layer of blubber for the Minnesota winters around it, right? I don't tuck in my shirts. Let's just put it that way. But I'm actually pretty fit. I can still run a mile, and I smoke. It's like a half a pack a day, but I still smoke. I ate a lot of sugar and stuff, but I'm also the guy at the trampoline parks, this old fart doing backflips everywhere and running around with the kids. I'm very active, and my job is very physical. I'm a handyman. I get into all sorts of stuff. Like, a lot of this stuff has to do with repetitive motion and work, and I understand a lot of you guys can't change your job, but you can change your body mechanics, or at least how you work out and take care of it when you're off the job. All right? So let's just start with the gym. I'm 46 years old. I'm not going for strength and the Brad Pitt look. I'm married. I do understand many of y'all got to stay really good looking for your business or whatever, or ego or whatever. But when it comes to pain, my workouts are generally all about movement. It's movement. Because I've had it all. I've had the back go out. I know how to fix it. None of your PTs or doctors are going to tell you the right way or even what's going on. They're going to skip a step, trust me. And if not, tell you the just opposite thing that you want to do. But anyway, I'll get into that later. And shoulder stuff. I can get shoulder stuff if I'm not careful. Rotator cuff. Even knees. My knees will tweak. So I'm telling you how to take care of all this stuff, right? And so this isn't, I know a lot of you right now are going to be like, oh, I jog 5 miles a day. Do you have pain? If you do, you keep listening. This isn't about like the physical fitness. This is about keeping your body functional. Anyways, so when I go to the gym, man, I'm not powerhousing it. That's when you're gonna tear tendons and whatnots and tweak stuff. There's no reason for it. I go for flexibility and motion. I'll put weight on it, but it's more just for the resistance. So let's just take, for example, you got shoulder issues, right? I mean, I've got torn up tendons too, but my shoulders don't hurt. Why? Because there's a lot more to the movement of your arm than that tendon that's getting overused. You got like 5-7 other muscles that are supposed to be moving. Your whole shoulder blade is supposed to be sliding. So think of, like, if you're a construction guy, think of hammer and nails. You're just using your elbow or your wrist or whatever. Same with mechanics. And what your shoulder muscles are all doing is locking up to stabilize so you can use your elbow and your wrist. Well, when all those muscles are locked up for efficiency over the years, it strangles blood flow, nerve flow, all that stuff, right? And they lock up. And now you're only using those specific tendons, ligaments, and muscles all the time. It has no little helpers. So, of course, repetitive motion And what you do is you unlock those and you start changing your body mechanics and start getting it all moving right. And even if you can't do it at your job, at least that's the therapy outside of work when you're at the gym. You don't go banging on engines or wood and then go to the gym and use the same muscles with the same other muscles all locked up. You're just going to do more damage. So all of it is about fluidity and motion, keeping your spine fluid and all this stuff. Same with lower back. Everybody gets lower back issues and they go to the doctors and they get sent down a dark path. And what they find at the end of that 5 years of cortisone shots and surgeries and bullshit PT that's telling them to strengthen their core and do planks, it was all the wrong stuff. 99.9% of the time, whether you're sitting, standing, a marathon runner, installing carpet, whatever it is, you have this muscle called your psoas. It's a core muscle, yeah. And it got locked up and it's pulling on your spine. It attaches to the front of your thigh. Every time you lift your leg or are standing erect, it's a stabilizer. But every time you flex your hip, lift your knee up, it's literally pulling on your lower vertebrae and it pulls it out of alignment. That's the subluxation if you want to get technical. Now everybody's trying to tell them to strengthen their core when you're supposed to be releasing the damn rope that's pulling your vertebrae out of alignment. That's why nothing ever works. Rewind this if you need to hear it again. Because everybody's too brainwashed to believe these degree people, and I see it all the time. They will not take into account that little. Nothing you do will help until that vertebrae is not getting yanked anymore by that locked up muscle. And until you learn how to release it. Yoga for psoas release. Yoga for psoas. PSOAS. Release. That's what you want to do. And there's a bunch of other little methods in your gait, how you walk, hanging your leg and letting your hip drop, all sorts of little weird things you can do. And when you learn to release that, then everything else goes away. That pain you feel in the backside, all your lower back muscles tightening up, that's for protection. That's not what got pulled. The vertebrae getting pulled out of place is threatening your sciatic nerve. It's going to crunch on it. So your lower back all locks up to protect it. That's what it's doing. Anyways. And that's why when I'm in the gym or whatnot, I'm just going for motion, man. Because over time, especially men, we get this damn turtle shell going. Oh shit, I just missed my exit. Son of a bitch. Anyways, I'll go through the clover. I do that all the time even when I'm not on the phone. I'll just be thinking of shit and miss my exit. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, it's all, when I get on the bench press, lightweight, and when I come down with the weight, I want my shoulder blades to move and touch almost. I want my rhomboids, the muscles between those shoulder blades. Hold on, I better pay attention a little bit here. I got my map on here too, I'm good. I want them to touch. I want them sliding. Everybody gets caught up in the look or what they're used to. Got so many runners and they get back problems. For one, quit running on concrete. I don't care how good your shoes are. Because that just, and you're running on your heels. That's ridiculous too. You know what I mean? You got to change it up. And it's changing the planes of motion your body is moving on and the muscles being used. You dig? And that's why I play with the kids. That's why I'm climbing stuff with them and jumping on trampoline. I'm constantly doing different things. I remember I had a client asking me what the best exercises were for whatever condition he was having. I'm like, copy what kids do. You know how kids will sit crisscross applesauce with their legs folded? When was the last time you did that? That stretches certain muscles. You know how sometimes they lay on their belly with their chin in their hands and their elbows on the ground? That stretches a bunch of stuff too. When was the last time you did that? They'll sit there for a whole half hour watching a TV show doing that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be moving different. You're all stiff like a board. And then you wonder when bones get pulled out and nerves get pressed and da-da-da. It's all getting back to that kind of stuff. So that's the gym stuff. I'll do another episode on like the mind-body connection of it, because especially your low back stuff, that's your foundation, that's your stabilizer. And if you're all willy-nilly in the head, it's going to affect your body too, because they're connected. They're like the same thing. But yeah, when you're in the gym, it's when I'm doing say lat pull downs, I'm not putting that peg on. I could put it on 150 pounds and do it, but all that's going to do is make more tears. I put it on lightweight. When I am going up, I let my whole shoulder blade rotate up. And you can't really do that with heavy weight because it'll pull it out. You're locking up your stuff even more, trying to be strong. No, try to be flexible and fluid. So my whole shoulder blade will rotate up, and then when I come down, it'll rotate all the way down, and then I squeeze at the end. If you're trying to do it the other way, you're going to be fucked. But you're thinking you're doing something. You got to be very mindful. It's like perfecting the technique over again, what you should be doing. It shouldn't be about, I know I get some skinny guys want to bulk up. But I'm talking about my body type. And this is what keeps me. I'm 46 and I can outperform a lot of 18-year-olds. Endurance-wise, no. I don't got that kind of energy. I can't do it, 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. And none of y'all should be doing it too. And that is another thing. If you're in chronic pain all the time and you're living that way, and then on the weekend you're trying to decompress and getting to the healing mode real quick, what I'm talking about is drinking on Friday night. Because your body will repair itself, but it has to get it out of the sympathetic nervous response, the fight or flight. It's got to relax. And generally, after a full-time work week, that takes 2 days. You don't really start relaxing until Sunday night for like an hour till you think about you have to go to work the next day. If you can strategically get out of that daily, that daily grind, because it's just going to help if you can. Whoa, what is going on here? Sorry, I'm on the Minneapolis side of the Twin Cities, and it is nuts over here. Anyways, what else is I going to say? Yeah, drinking. Everybody's they're trying to push the relaxation. Because drinking will put you in that in an hour. You don't got to wait. You don't got to read a book or meditate or pray or just relax and stretch or whatever. You can just have a few drinks, get that going, and it sends you right into that mode. But it's temporary and it's fake. You dig? And then it causes inflammation, which does not help your pain. And it's poisoning your body, all that other stuff, right? But I get it. I'm just saying, if you want to avoid pain, these are little factors. Then there's inflammatory foods and all the junk foods and whatever. That can do it too. But there's also anti-inflammatory foods that you can do and use. That's my gig about the physical stuff. And when you do get fluid and kind of flexible enough and you have the movement there, you're not all locked up. Because your body's got, 200 something muscles going on? All of them getting all locky, rusty on you as you age. Certain muscles not getting oxygen anymore and all this stuff. But as you get better at it, for one, it'll let you know your body. But two, you'll find out that it readjusts itself as you move in these different ways. Your back will crack back into place. Your wrist will crack back into place. You'll put things back into place. You don't need to go to the chiropractor 2 times a week. You dig? Because your body's way smarter than you. It's you thinking you need to do what you got to do to pay the bills. Usually that's getting in the way. There are ways to get it back. So all the time, when I'm doing different stuff, all of a sudden I'll feel a muscle unwind from being locked, or a bone snapping back to where it's supposed to be. It's like been out of place for like a couple of weeks, and it'll pop, pop back in. I'm 46, highly physical, got zero physical pain. Zero. And I'm not like a health nut guru, but like I said, I can perform. Like, I'll surprise you. I remember I was at a men's retreat, and I don't look like I can move. It like, and if I'm playing basketball, or like if you need me to sprint or something, all of a sudden this turbo comes on, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Because I just don't look like it. You know what I'm saying? But then I meet a bunch of people who look physically fit, and they got chronic pain all the time. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's no way to live. I've been there, done that. I'm going to figure it out, man. I'm not going to the doctors because they're not going to actually help with anything. And you have to have the belief that you heal. With all the poisons you take in and all the cuts and bruises, and like your body, tell your body you're good and you'll figure it out. Let it do it. Speak to it. It works. If you're telling yourself you're sick all the time, you're going to be sick all the time. I never get sick. It's like maybe once a year. Unless it's something really nasty, it only lasts a day or two. But then again, I have the time and space to rest if I need it. And that's another aspect too. You gotta find the moments. Because we don't got that much time, man. Even if you're a part-timer like me, I make up for it with all the other things that need to get done. And I'm busy helping people and da-da-da. And I get manic. You know what I mean? If I don't put the brakes on, if I don't remember, like, hey, you gotta slow down, or hey, maybe you should speed up, it's manic depressive. It's all about energy and momentum with that. But I can go full on, I can be hyper productive and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But if I got an hour, take it. I could fill that hour up, but I don't. I will close my eyes, play with the imagery in my head, maybe get out of the imagery and observe it. Maybe do some prayer in there. Maybe try to image a new identity and get out of my old loops. That's very powerful. All these, I'll take my time. Or sometimes I'll even pop a gummy and just whatever. Send my wife and the kids off to the park so I can have a minute just to wrap my head around some shit. Figure out when you got to do that and stuff. You can't be go because then you're not going to have a choice. You're going to crash. And that affects the pain in your body too. Your cortisol is always pumping. It's going to fuck you up. Get out of the fight or flight. It's called the parasympathetic nervous response, and it's when you heal. Fasting helps too. Fasting, I don't do official fasting, and I'm a night eater. Wrong time to be doing it, but I've always done it. But I won't eat another meal till about noon. So I get my, 14 hours of my body not having to digest a bunch of stuff. I know you're supposed to do it while you're sleeping, but I don't sleep if I got the munchies, you know what I'm saying? So, hold on, I gotta turn here. These are just things I do. I've been there, I've fixed all of it. I've worked with a lot of men and women. And I've had to sit there and watch them just do the wrong things because it's trending and popular. Not trusting the way that they were designed by God at all. Just trusting doctors who, it's not most practitioners' fault, but they were trained. Do you understand what that means? You know how like a dog is trained to do tricks? Now, they got their degree and think they're smart, but half the time, all they're doing is selling something. They're salespeople. They have one scope of practice, one tiny piece of the puzzle map to try to help you with when everything's connected and you need 10 maps to really understand how you operate. Now, I don't expect everybody to dive deep into all different kinds of holistic Eastern, Western, medical practices or whatever, but it's pretty easy once you start paying close attention how your body and mind actually work. And being close friends with God's helps a lot too. Not God's, God, capital G, because it's that relationship. You'll get those little insights like, oh, so all this stuff, this is what I do. I'm pain-free, highly active, laborious job, almost constantly running, fixing stuff, building stuff, running with the kids, trying to match their energy. After I've already been to the gym, working on my own body, after I already been working, after I've already cleaned a bunch of stuff, fixed a bunch of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Cater to family, all this stuff. You got to take care and pay close attention. Get out of automatic pilot, because that's a loop. You're going to keep doing the same shit over and over again. And then while you're doing that in your pattern, when you do come into a problem, you don't know what else to do but go to the people who need you to stay in that problem to make money. Pretty simple formula. Like I said, it's not their fault, and sometimes they do help. Most of the time it is just help, though. It's not going to get rid of the problem. You know what I mean? Like, say, just for example, your shoulder's the problem, and yeah, all this PT and cortisone shots helps. Well, that's managing the problem. The real problem is you need to change jobs or something and quit hammering all day. You dig? That's all I got on that.